I wanted to share some secrets about Tekken that I've come to experience in my time while playing. Now, I understand that we all play at our own pace, but some of these little things I think people tend to overlook while playing this game. Because Tekken is the kind of game that can really engross you, even though you really shouldn't be engrossed in this as much as some people tend to be. And the reason why I decided to make this video is A, I can see how frustrating the game can be for new players who are transitioning from being new players into players that actually like the game and want to keep playing it long term. But it's kind of difficult playing with people who are tryhards, who are easily angry. Like I'm seeing people online getting hate messages for Tekken. That's wild to me. Like I don't care that much to send someone else a message for beating me. Even if they use like underhanded tactics, it's like, I'm so sorry, I can't care about you. I really can't care enough about you to like send you a hate message. But instead, I care more about the people that will rematch me. Yeah, I like those folks. But I wanted to share some of the secrets about Tekken that people don't really realize. The first one is the fact that the game requires a lot of time. You need to put a lot of time and dedicated practice into learning the moves, practicing combos, practicing your punishment, practicing your breaks, learning the heat mechanics, and so much more. The list keeps going, right? And it takes a lot of time to learn just the basic moves in Tekken for your character, and then learning the fundamentals. And even after you learn about your specific character, right, and you make it to a high rank, you have to learn about the other characters in the game to counter them. You see how crazy that is? And keep in mind, always remember this. Tekken is one of the few games in the world where one character has over 100 moves. And I think there's still some like secret moves in the move lists. And remember, they'll add more moves to the characters down the line. And they cut moves out of this game. I mean they cut moves from Tekken 7 characters and put them in Tekken 8. Like, just remember that the developers are holding back here. So it does require a lot of time, a lot of patience. So take it easy on yourself if you don't get everything. Number two, don't covet the ranks. You don't need to hold on to your ranks with such, emotional fervor. Like you lose ranks and you'll gain ranks. I think this is obvious to people, but we still do it. We're still human. But I'm just trying to remind you that you will lose some ranks. You're going to gain some ranks. And this is the way of Tekken. If you got the rank once, you can get it again. That's the way I see it. So even if I get to like, let's say Tekken God of Destruction, and I get pushed back down to Tekken God, like that's still a pretty high rank. It's a lot further than I thought I would have been. And if I really like focus and look at what I did wrong, I can practice what I need to practice and get back to that rank, if not better than how I did it before. Right? So like take it easy. Don't let ranks ruin your mood. It's just ranked. Like you can take a break, you can go into practice mode and practice what you're messing up. I think that's what's really important. If you are on a losing streak in ranked, take a break, go into practice mode. Practice your backdash, practice your punishments, practice your throw breaks, practice what you are losing against. That is going to be much better for you than trying to force it in ranked. You're already in a lowered mental state. Your focus is broken, so you're going to rank down even further. And another point is the fact that if you are losing ranks, stop playing so that way you don't lose more. Point number three. You need to give yourself the opportunity to practice without pressure. I think when I started playing Tekken 7 and learning the backdash, I kind of stressed myself out about it, trying to get all the movements as crisp as possible. But I didn't really need to do that, right? I didn't need to stress myself out about it. And I'm trying to share that advice with you. You can practice Tekken while doing something else in the background, like listening to a podcast, or you can make it meditative or a calm experience. It doesn't have to be this really hampering negative experience where you're forcing yourself to perform at your best. You don't know what you need to know yet. You're practicing and learning. So give yourself that grace to practice and learn and have fun with it, right? Another thing I wanted to share is you got to try new things in matches. It's okay to try new moves and to change up your tactics. And it's actually beneficial for you if you do it carefully or if you do it with knowing your character. I think that's the thing. When you know your character, it actually benefits you to use some out there move and your opponent will take a step back. They will literally do that. They will backdash and wait and watch what you're going to do next. They pause and reassess. So even if it is an unsafe move that you throw out, you can use those different types of tactics to your advantage, and you can add mental stacks to your opponent because you're changing things up. They don't know what to expect, and they don't know what to expect to win. Even if you just stop, they literally stop moving. Just let them come to you. That works sometimes. I've had that work with me and against me. Like, I've been baited into bad situations before while playing this game. So it's okay to try new stuff. Number 5. This is something that I don't think players are ready for, and that's the fact that the player numbers will reduce over time to mainly the legacy players, people who have basically been playing for years. When you're playing, keep in mind that you are getting better. So you're playing against better people, but you're also playing against people who have been playing this game for years, right? And some players, the newer players that we get in Tekken 8, they're going to be transitioning into legacy players. And when you play ranked more, when you play the game more, you're going to meet up with these players that really know basically everything about their character because they've been playing, like Kazuya. You have some guy that's been playing Kazuya or Paul since they debuted in the game. You're going to have a difficult time beating that person because they know what they can do, they know what their character can do, and there's enough time that has transpired for Tekken 8 that they know the system already. So you're going to see less casual players and more legacy players. So keep that in mind and understand that you're not a bad player. You're just new. But a lot of these players that you're playing against, they have years of experience. Even though they're not professionals, you have not had enough time to see the things that you're capable of doing compared to these legacy players. They've been playing since their character was really good, really bad, through the different iterations of Tekken. So keep that in mind. Number 6. Cheaters exist in this game, as with any other game, but you can find ways to outplay them because Tekken is a complex game. If you do find a cheater, you can try, at the very least try, to beat them using different techniques. You can try to figure out what are they using against you. Like, is it that they're breaking grabs? Is it that they're blocking lows automatically? If it's doing everything, right, then at that point, record it and put it online. But it's not going to be, they're not going to be perfect because there's still a human element there. So you can try using grabs if it's automatically blocking lows. By it, I mean the hack that they're using. You can use very simple punishment to whittle down their health. You can use movement to your advantage to get them really low and then back off so they rush into you to make a mistake. Basically using whiff punish to your advantage to then combo them. You may still lose, but here's the thing. Even if you lose playing against somebody that is hacking, you're still learning how to play the game and you're learning how to adapt to a player that's better than you. In this situation, they are better because basically they can break all grabs and they can parry all lows. So you need to adapt to your opponent and try to do things that they don't expect. That's going to make you a better player. So that's the way I look at it. Like, if I'm playing against somebody better than me, this is going to make me a better player. If I'm playing against somebody that's suspicious but they're using hacks, I need to engage in critical thinking and problem solving to find a creative solution to beat this person. Because it's going to feel so good to beat you knowing that you were using a hack and you still couldn't cut it. You're that bad. But something they can't do is get better from using the hacking. So keep that in mind. You're getting better when they're not. Number 7, you should definitely take breaks from Tekken. Tekken is a very long-term game. As I said before, you got legacy players. They take breaks all the time, right? They're not frustrating themselves anymore in this game because they know what's up. I think I'm a legacy player. I've been playing since like Tekken 5 on and off, but Tekken 7 more reliably or consistently. Tekken 8, I feel like I know my characters. I feel like I know some of the other characters in the game that I more or less understand what they can do. But for a new player, like, everything is overwhelming. Take your time, give yourself breaks. You don't need to be going 100% playing this game. It's very stressful. It can get very stressful. So playing this game for too long, it can tax you mentally. Taking breaks will help you to maintain some sanity. And also, I think it's good to take breaks with Tekken, with anything, specifically because it aids you in learning the thing. So when it comes to, this is getting into the science weeds, I'm not a scientist, but when it comes to like neuroplasticity and learning, sleep is beneficial and so is spaced repetition. So if you're learning something in Tekken, like let's say you're learning electrics, doing them all in one day isn't the way to go. What you should do is spend like an hour or two every day learning how to do electrics and practicing electrics. After a while, you'll get it. And the more you do it over a long period of time, the better you get. So take your breaks, take it easy. It's not that serious. Number 8. This is basically the meme. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. That's really it. Sometimes you're going to have some bad games, multiple bad games, and that's okay. You're only human, right? Other players are going to have bad games too. That literally happens to everybody, including top players. I implore you to go and watch the tournaments between the different top players globally. They all get beat down at some point. Even Arslan, even me, everybody gets beat down. I don't know what to tell you, man. If they are getting their ass handed to them, why do you think you're gonna be the exemption to the rule of life? Like, everybody gets got at some point. Accept your losses and try to use the replay feature to learn what your opponent was doing to get the best of you and how you can counter it next time. Like, actually trying to help yourself here. There's no need to be angry. Number 9, and I think this is my favorite one, gimmicks work. I don't care what nobody says. They work at any level, but experienced players are going to try to figure it out. They may not get it on the first round, but they're going to be looking at your gameplay to see when you're going to do it. Now, they may or may not lab it after a match, so that way they learn how to deal with it next time. But if you're going to use gimmicks, I would recommend that you avoid overusing them because you don't want the opponent to figure it out. So using the gimmick more sparingly, like maybe once or twice for the match or for the set, I think that helps to add more to the mental stack while playing against your opponent. Because Tekken is a psychological game. Most fighting games are like psychological. There's enough time for you to play with your opponent and condition them to your play style, but then you can break that conditioning by doing something completely unexpected. 10. Tekken is not your goddamn life. All right? Even the pros have lives outside of Tekken. And I think this applies to all sorts of gaming. I really like games. They're enjoyable. But some people playing like 12 hours a day, you don't need to do that. Unless like you're a professional player or a content creator, then all right, that makes sense. But if you're grinding out ranked to get the rank, it's like, yeah, it's good, but it's still just like digital currency, right? After you get to like Tekken God of Destruction, it feels great. I haven't done it. I would like to do it, but there's a part of me that's like, okay, after I get that, then what? Just keep playing, right? That's it. Just keep playing. Keep in mind, this game takes time, but don't neglect other aspects of your life for it or any other game, all right? You don't need to be miserable while playing. It can be frustrating to play this game, but you can adapt a good mindset to actually like enjoy the game and not raise your blood pressure, okay? Take care of yourself out there. And with that, I wanted to ask you guys, what are some of the things that you learned about Tekken that you would like to share? Like any sort of life lessons, any sort of like useful techniques that you think would be useful for new players, returning players, veterans. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section what you guys think.